Have you ever wondered why you have no issue hitting your irons relatively straight, but have the tendency to slice your driver off the planet? Hey, my name is Eric Kaplan. I've had the pleasure of coaching multiple major champions, and I want to share with you not only how to cure your slice, but gain 15 or 20 yards to your tee shots literally overnight. So I know it's confusing. All these online instructors promising that they can cure your slice overnight or help you gain massive distance off the tee, and you're not sure who to trust. So let's just have a conversation, because the reason why you slice your driver worse than the other clubs in your bag has nothing to do with the club being longer or there being less loft, but rather because this is actually a specialty club. So the driver, because there's so little loft, it's actually played off of a tee. And because it's off of a tee, the ball position needs to be more forward in your stance because you're catching it on the way up. This warrants subtle changes in your posture, whereby you're catching an iron at the bottom of your arc, which is going to be opposite your lead shoulder. A drive you're catching on the way up, therefore the ball position should be a little bit more forward in your stance. But what does this mean? Because if I move the ball position more forward in my stance and I just throw my right hand on top of the club, what just happened to my trail shoulder? It comes more out of its socket. Now my shoulders are aiming well left of my feet and can create the condition by which I would come more over the top. So for those of us who'd said, hey, my friends tell me my feet are aiming well right of my target, this is the most fundamental reason why. Now, I have a 2.5-year-old at home, so are you prepared to play the game? Are you smarter than a 2.5-year-old? So in the golf swing, there's two basic muscle groups I like to talk about. We have the muscles up here and we have the muscles down here. So the first question I have for you is, what shape does this look like? Really good, it's a rectangle. You guys are 1 for 1. What about this? That's a square, or the box. So we have the rectangle up here and the box is down there. So if you go ahead and you get into your golf posture and you just throw your right hand on the club doing this, you're engaging more muscles in the rectangle. And so why is it so detrimental? The muscles up here, the delts, if I take my shoulders and lift them up and round them forward, the muscles up here are the muscles that actually cause you to come over the top, cast, early extend, etc. The muscles of the box down here are the muscles that allow you to powerfully rotate around the body. So when you're setting up with a driver, if you move the ball more forward in your stance, which you should because it's off of a tee, you're catching it slightly on the way up, and you just throw your right hand on the club, you're now engaging more of the muscles of the rectangle. You're already setting up in a position that would cause you to come more over the top. So the way that we fix this and remedy this and also increase your club head speed off the tee substantially is to create a little bit of the shoulder engagement. If I create a little bit of shoulder engagement, this connects me to the bigger, more powerful muscles of the back and create much more coil in terms of transfer of energy. Now we do find ourselves with a very interesting problem though, which is if I'm hinging my thighs back, ball position more forward, shoulders engaged, how on God's green earth to get my right hand to the club? Because the last thing I want to do is just throw my right hand on doing this. So the answer to the question is found in what's called the secondary tilt of the spine. So what secondary tilt is a slight bump of the hip forward, whereby primary tilt, from a down the line perspective, if my hips moving back, secondary tilt is from a face-on perspective, my hips bumping forward. This dropping of the trail shoulder is what allows me to get my right hand to the club without coming over and across my body. Now there are 4 basic reasons as to why this little bump of the hip is really efficient with driver, is for as follows. First of all, the right hand is lower in the club, the shoulder should be lower. Not enough to drop my trail shoulder by doing this, because then I move the bottom of the arc back, cause me to hang back on my back foot and lose shots to the right. Secondly, the only way I can keep my shoulders engaged and really powerfully engage the muscles of my back and get my right hand to the club is by bumping the hip more forward. Reason 3, it's going to move my hip in a more neutral position to allow me to better clear my lower body on the way down. And reason 4 is one of weight shift, whereby by me naturally creating this little bit of tilt in my spine, I'm going to naturally engage more of my glute on the backswing just by virtue of having that little bit of tilt. To see that in action, we're going to hinge your thighs back, get the weight more over the ankle joint, create a little bit of that shoulder engagement, at which point what allows you to get the right hand to the club is that tilt. Now my shoulders, hips are symmetrical. I'm going to optimize my angle of attack, at which point I can really unload. Being a small guy, I can still hit it well over 300 because I'm squeezing out as much yardage as my body's able to generate. So again, don't forget, if you have somebody trying to tell you to stop coming over the top by learning how to reroute, on the way down, what's critically important to understand is you shouldn't be worrying about the dynamic pieces, but rather say you coming over the top in your golf swing is a symptom of not having shoulder engagement and not having any secondary tilt. By incorporating these two elements, you're literally going to transform the way you drive the golf ball overnight and also for the rest of your life. I hope that made a little bit of sense. And if you like that video, click the thumbs up button below and click subscribe. That way you'll be notified every single time we upload another video lesson like this.